In meditation, what is happening? The small I is slowly dissolving, disintegrating. And the mind will do everything it can at the last minute to find its way to hold on. Sama, equanimous, whoever is there, to be open, to have a sense of connection, to have a sense of belonging. That can only happen when you're not looking out for what you want to get, what you want to achieve. Would you rather be right or be happy? 99% of our conflict in life is we want to be right, not happy. All right, great. So we're on chapter 6 and
Shloka 15. Yeah.
number 15, correct?
14.
14, okay. Arnie, let's begin with 14.
प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभिः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्त आसीत मत्परः.
Firm in the vow of complete chastity and fearless, keeping himself perfectly calm and with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me, the vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. Firm in the vow of complete chastity and fearless. It's interesting. Keeping himself perfectly calm and with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me, the vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. I think this we know, meaning as meditators. I just want to address maybe this fearless, like fear of what? Meditating? What is he really saying? We know what he's saying. Sit in a good posture, clean place. We discussed this the last time. Focus the mind, bring the awareness, and then meditate. Fearless. What do you think he's referring to? Any idea? Fear of what? What do you think?
Fear of moving into the unknown.
Fear of moving into the unknown, fear of letting go. Yes, I don't know if you've heard it, but as a Sahaj teacher, oftentimes, it's not that much, but I have had people come quite often where they say, Didi, I was meditating and then suddenly I got really scared. I was just like, I thought I was going to die. Has anyone heard this or had this experience? Yes? See, there's a few hands up. That is what he's really referring to. I mean, I'm perceiving it that way. I don't know. He didn't come and tell me that, but because what is the fear? What can happen? You sit to meditate. What can happen? In meditation, what is happening? The small I is slowly dissolving, disintegrating. And the mind will do everything it can at the last minute to find its way to hold on. Yes, it doesn't fully want to let go. It's afraid of death. I mean, every fear, you have heard Gurudev say, behind all fear is fear of what? Death. If you say, I'm not afraid of dying, but I don't want to be sick. Well, you think because if you're sick, you might die. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of being sick. I just, need to have enough money. What does that mean? I have enough money, so I know I'll have food to eat and I'll be safe and I won't die from hunger. Somehow, if you look behind every fear, it links into fear of physical death. But in meditation, he's not speaking about fear in terms of physical death. I think what he's really referring to is willingness to let go, willingness to dissolve, willingness to let go of the identity, of the small mind, that sense of I exist and oh my God, you do reach a place, probably that is the doorway to entering samadhi, the doorway where everything feels like it's going to disappear. You disappear. That's very scary for people because we're so identified that I am this body, I am this mind, I am my emotions, I am the roles that I play, I am rich, I am poor, I am tall, I am short. That is so big. And we sit to meditate, and when that starts to disintegrate, as we dissolve more and more and more, the fear comes in. And mind does everything it can to interfere. Sometimes you notice you're settling, and suddenly the mind starts to go off into thoughts about you and something completely unrelated. Sometimes it's just this wind of story, and you're like, where did you go for what? The moment it feels like it's going to dissolve, it grabs onto something. Some of you have had this experience, this feeling, no? It's fear of I might die. The little I might die. And that is actually the doorway to samadhi. In fact, you will not die. In fact, you will be more alive. We will be more alive than we have ever been. But that is the journey, So interesting. He's warning Arjun in a sense, not warning, but preparing. That's the word. Remember I said all these verses are preparation to meditation, to samadhi. Not meditation as in relaxing, which is how we often understand it. Relaxing the mind, peace of mind is very different from peace as our nature. And what Lord Krishna is speaking about, samadhi, meditation, is to be established in who we are as peace, not peace of mind. We've discussed this before, right? A couple of you are looking at me with a little, like with the wrinkle on your, you understand what I'm saying? This has to be very clear for you, We are not seeking through the Shastra only peace of mind. We want to be established in peace itself. Harini, read the next verse.
युञ्जन्नेवं तदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति.
Thus, constantly applying his mind to me, the yogi of disciplined mind attains everlasting peace, consisting of supreme bliss which abides in me. This is so interesting. Constantly applying his mind to me, the yogi of disciplined mind. Discipline in this case means one who has practiced. Abhyasa is what it's referring to. I don't know if that's a good word, discipline, but understand it this way. Discipline can be the thing that you do, practice, discipline, and disciplined mind is a result of having practiced discipline. You could understand it two ways. Are you seeing what I'm saying? In this case, what he's saying is one who has put his mind on me, who's done discipline, who's been practicing again and again and again, coming back, attains everlasting peace. It's an instruction, not just the end goal. Am I clear? Look, how much do we do for everything else in life? Oftentimes people will say on a spiritual path, on this journey, I can't really focus. The mind's always distracted. I don't have time. I don't know what to do to get there. The truth is, we know how to focus on what we consider important, what we choose, yes? Whether that's school or job or business or family or fun or whatever it is. We know how to really do the practice. Whatever it takes, I will do to get to whatever it is I want. Yes or no? Is this not something clear in our life for us? It's clear. It's not easy, whether it's families or business or education or anything, seva, whatever it is. If we put our mind to it, we're willing to do anything, practice, do whatever it takes. Maybe practice is not a good word. This is a disciplined mind. And that is what is being said here. In fact, it's what Patanjali also says, no? constant, continuous practice leads to samadhi. That means you have to really, we have to get a drada. Drada means very firm, clear awareness that this is important for me. I want this. It is not a by the way thing. It's not just an addition to thing in life, one more thing in life. Okay, I do this, by the way. Occasionally I go to the movies. Occasionally I call some friends. Occasionally, I go out to eat. But every day I make sure I bring money home and I work hard and I give 10, 12 hours. It's like that. You have to decide which category this belongs. Yes? Let me see. There's lots of comments. Let's see what they're about. It was related to the first thing. Yes, of letting go. If there's fear or hate, then it takes the place of love. Same energy. Yes. Fear of succeeding on the path. We want, quote, freedom to feel vibrant and alive, but the small mind doesn't want to die. We want to maintain everything as is and have this in addition to. It's like in the bag of accumulation. We want one more thing added to it, one more card added to it. We don't realize that comes at the price of emptying out the bag that's already full. Have to let all that go to end up with the thing that we want, the ultimate. Yeah. Fear of the ego, losing identity. Yes. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Next verse.
नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन.
Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats, nor for him who observes complete fast. It is neither for him who is given to too much sleep, nor even for him who is ceaselessly awake. Awake as in active, not awakened as in internally. Yeah? Balance, equanimous. Again and again, if you notice, this notion of sama, equanimity, comes up in different ways. Do you remember in previous chapters, actually even in this chapter, Lord Krishna at some point said to Arjuna to have samabuddhi towards friend and foe. Does anyone remember what verse it was? Here, look, verse number 9. He who looks upon well-wishers, meaning friends, and neutrals, as well as mediators, friends and foe, relatives and inimicals, the virtuous and the sinful with equanimity stands supreme. Samabuddhi, the notion of having rising above the pairs of opposite, he has said many times, right? In the previous chapters, do you remember? Respect, sukh or dukh, friend or foe is now what he uses different examples. Very interesting. Let's look at that verse just for a brief moment. Why is he using this example, friend or foe? One who is equanimous, who sees friend and foe with the same samabuddhi. Sama means equanimous drishti, vision, perspective. This is what's required. Previously, he spoke about yash, respect and disrespect in previous chapters. Are you guys remembering this? Give me a hint so that you know. Yeah? Look, he also talked about who sees sort of like wealth or gold and soil the same. I think that was another thing where he had used the idea of equanimous. Sometimes he's spoken about wealth, sometimes about respect, different things. This time he's speaking about friend and foe. Number one, why this time? That's where Arjun is. He's looking across the field and he sees He can't tell who's a friend or foe. He's about to fight who's supposed to be his enemy, but in fact he sees relatives and kinsmen and friends. So this example is given. Previously, Arjun was speaking about what will people say, this is no good. He was really speaking from the very smallest of mind, sukh, dukh. What happiness will I gain if I do this, if I kill all these people? I don't want the wealth of a kingdom. So then the Lord would use examples of gold and soil or gold and stone. You need to see equanimously. Are you catching on to what I'm saying? He's saying, but each time he's saying a different example for a purpose. Now I have a question. Do you think it's easy to see or have an equanimous sama buddhi between rich and poor or gold and stone, soil, dirt? You think it's easy? I don't think so. It's not. No? Stone is stone. We had talked about the Buddha and the temple and all of that. But what about friend and foe? Which one's easier? Feeling equanimous to friend and foe, samabuddhi. What do you think? This is not philosophy, people. We should, this didn't strike me till just this moment as we started to discuss this. He gave different examples. When he was talking about happiness and unhappiness, I will gain nothing, I will not be happy if I kill my own people. Then the Lord said, you need samabuddhi towards happiness and sadness, pain and pleasure. Yes, then I don't need the kingdom. He spoke about you need to have samabuddhi towards gold, stones, whatever you want to call it. Why now friend and foe, and which one's easier? Which one's easier?
Friend.
No. I know it kind of seems like that, but at least gold, stone, these things are external things. They're inanimate, insentient. They're not live within us. But if you think of friend and foe, you're looking at people, live entities. But the other thing really to look at is everything we do, who we interact with. Who do we interact as a friend? When there's something to be gained. If somebody stands in our way, they don't support us, they don't agree with us, they stand in our way, whatever that means, okay, to whatever you want. Those people don't fall in the friend category. They fall in the not so friendly category. Maybe they're not enemy, but they're not so friendly. They're not neutral either. Are you hearing what I'm saying? What we do, I don't just mean friend as in outside. We're talking about whom do we give love to. Let's talk about it like that. Those we consider our own. But even our own, it's not unconditional. Not father to son, not son to father, not to friends, not mother, not husband, wife. There is something to be gained. Think. Yes or no? Yes or no? It's not just love. See, I know we don't like to hear this because we like, oh, what do you mean? I'm transactional with my brother and my son and my husband and my wife and even your dog. You come home and the dog is wagging its tail, and you're happy. It's exciting because now you get some love, you feed something, but the dog is also wagging its tail because he's going to get food from you or she. It's how it is. They're wagging their tail. They know this dude, okay, he's home. Yay, happy, love, love, love. Now put some food in my bowl. Yes? So to get over, to have samabuddhi with friend and foe, what do you think is the trick? It's not give love to everybody, no. It's give love, not receive, give love with samta, to friend or foe. We choose. That's actually what Arjun would have to get over in order to move forward. Is it that, like, I don't know, whatever's coming, this is a little mind-blowing, isn't it? Like, you have to start to think, look, the reason we interact in quote love, friend or foe, is there's something transactional in there. Which means what? Underneath that, there's this thing about, I need to get this done. I want to do this. Samta in loving. This is a huge thing. The only way you have samta in loving people, whether they're in a power position or rich people or tall people or male or female, is when you're when you have no agenda of achieving something. It's a big thing. You know, I'm even understanding certain things. When I'm in the Bangalore ashram, it becomes a little bit obvious sometimes. So I remember like being there for many years ago, and for instance, the Ayurvedic clinic, I go and I bring gifts for the technicians. Because I remember from such a long time ago, I had done Ayurveda. There's a lady named Bhuvneshwari who's head of the women's Ayurveda, staff. She was just a new person who had come from Himachal or something, and she was very new when she had given me my treatment. And whenever I go say hello to them. The gatekeepers, at the different gates, I go and I stop by because I recognize them. Sometimes I don't want to walk and they're on their motorbike. So I say, can you give me a ride? And I sit back on their thing and go. And then there are the ones in the white Swami robes and Swamini robes and, senior people and administrative people. And many different times I will have heard, and it just occurs to me in this where they say, wow, Didi, they're just the technician there, or, Didi, they're just manage the gate. They're not teacher or anything. And I always sort of have this like, yeah, so what are you saying? But there are people who will say hello to only a certain group of people, go sit next to only a certain group of people, whether that's in the office or in seva or in the neighbor, do you know what I'm saying? They categorize. Oh, I go to that house. Oh, I talk to that person. These are my friends. They seek out the friends that are in a certain place. It's all transactional. And they do not have samta in friendship, in giving. It's not about being friend or foe. It's samta in giving love. Sama, equanimous. Whoever is there, to be open, to have a sense of connection, to have a sense of belonging. That can only happen when you're not looking out for what you want to get, what you want to achieve. I don't know if I'm belaboring the point, but it's a big point. Are you with me? Just to be aware of that, it's a huge thing. So here in this chapter, Lord Krishna used friend or foe because this is where Arjun is. He has gone past the other stuff, the wealth and the happiness and the sadness. He's still at chapter 6. He's still not able to see don't worry about who's going to die. Don't worry about who's in front of you. Lord Krishna is saying, just pick up the bow and arrow. Just do what you have to do. It's not don't achieve, don't want to have achieved, but know that what I achieve, what I have to do, I do for the Lord, and what is needed, whomever is needed will come to me. And if an enemy comes to me while I'm achieving, somebody sabotages, somebody makes things difficult, if they come to me, it's also because this is what is meant to come to me to walk through. Otherwise we create all sorts of, I avoid them. I mean, you move away from them, you figure out how to way to get rid of them from the team and all those sorts of things. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot in this little discussion to become aware, self-aware of. No? I think you don't look as woo as I feel inside. I don't know. It's like, Maybe I'm belaboring the point and it's just really for me, perhaps. Vishnu, you have your hand up.
Oh, yeah. So most of the time, like when I go on the elevator or walk on the pathway, and I would say like hi or just casual conversation, but people will look at me like as though they're seeing people from out of the world, because they're caught up. And yes, they are not looking for anything, so they feel like, okay, he's just bothering. So I want to know your secret, how you get into with like unconventional people and get to make friend with them.
I mean, you can't do it in an elevator moment. You know, elevator moment is what? An elevator moment. That's all it is. It's, if you want to sell something, you need to come up with a one-liner. You know, that's so amazing that they might say, oh, tell me more, or here's my card. But making connections with people and it's not transactional, that doesn't happen in an elevator moment. But if you see them again and again, the same person, then you have to give it time to build, right? So from internally, the samta bhav, samabuddhi is required. It's not just about saying hello externally, but internally you feel they are strangers. Do you understand? You need to have a sense that they are not strangers, they are not different from you. Outwardly, they are different. Internally, when you do gazing, you remember in part one, part two, when you do gazing, when you look to their eyes beyond the differences, you are not looking at them as a stranger, though you don't know them. You connect to recognition on the superficial level. Wow. Like me, they have gone through ups and downs in life. Maybe that's the very first place where you see similarity. Yes? And maybe you look a little bit and say, you know, I'm afraid to look, but we've all experienced fear. That brings another degree of connection, samta, belongingness, right? And you continue to maybe look a little longer, and then you have this sense like, wow, whatever's in me, thoughts, ideas, emotions, they also go through it. Oh, and maybe there's something more in them as there is something in me. This is a progression. Yes? So you have somebody in the elevator, you want to say hello to them, just say hello to them. If you want to build a friendship, it doesn't happen from a hello. And you cannot be dissuaded by how they look. You have to know to communicate with them sometimes. Ask a question about them. How are you? I'm sure this seems strange in this day and age saying hello, but just good morning. I'm having a good morning. You need to just be you, natural. That's the only way to have samabhav, you know. And you don't want anything, whether they give you a dirty look or not. You don't care. Do you see? In your question is a want for something. Right? You want to build some connection, make some friendship with them. That is your want. That proves the point that we are sort of discussing. You know, if you don't want anything, you don't say hi to them. If a homeless person gets into the elevator with bags and whatever, I'm not sure if you would go into the elevator or get out of the elevator. You understand? Something in you has chosen to want to be friends with that person. This is why I'm looking at this with the sort of what seems like I'm overdoing it, but it's so subtle. It's so subtle. There's always something driving us for wanting something. And Lord Krishna is asking for samabhav. No? And that can only happen. You can only come above friend and foe if you, in your love, in your connection, rise above transaction. Is this clear?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Is this of value? I mean, there should be some little ding ding going on in the head, like, wow, yeah, I never really saw it. I'm not just saying to you, you know, as I'm sharing, I see, oh, how subtle it is for the mind to pick. And at the same time, I also see, at least as I self-reflect, like, wow, I just stretch my hands. That's it. You know, whoever, whatever is in front of me. At that moment, I get tired and I do have this thing like, oh, I don't want to talk to that person. Get rid of them. Not now. Just a fatigue. And then I will go back to them. Because if you're just in service, then you're in service. You see what I'm saying? And there, that starts to spill over. Danine, I see your hand. One moment. Then it starts to spill over into life. Okay, Danine.
Well, just quickly about the fear, and a lot of times it's fear of our own ego getting bruised when we do that, and so it's also coming to it without fear and coming to it in some sense of purity.
Yeah, but that was that verse, right? With fearlessness, you have to enter meditation. It's not just in the meditation. The ego is constantly on this journey being, quote, bruised, to use your word. No? It's a scary place to go, to agree to have a psychological death. To be willing to let go of who and what we think we are, our self-importance, self-worthiness, self-respect, others. Everything we do is to preserve this. And the journey is the complete opposite. Anyway. Okay, so let's go back to the same verse. What was it again? Oh, Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats, nor for him who observes complete fast. It is neither for him who is given to too much sleep, nor even for him who is ceaselessly awake, meaning active. So this is now samta in life's do's and don'ts. Balance is what he's again going back to, right? Now, look at this. He doesn't say what to eat and how much to eat and how much to sleep and when to sleep. Oh, average of 8 hours of sleep is needed a day. Because that's the natural question that the buddhi, the intellect that likes to have everything decided, to make control, wants to know. Well, what should we eat? How much should we eat? When should we eat? How much should we sleep? You know, what is the correct activity amount? Yes, you know this happens anytime you teach a course. Look at what Lord Krishna is saying. He's just pointing. You need balance in all of this. And how much and what is that balance depends on you, Arjuna. Depends on who you are, how old you are, what you do, what you have to get done in life. Accordingly, you need sleep and food and activity and so on. No, we're used to, if you notice, as we get older, we need less sleep. Yes? Babies at a time in the womb sleep 24 hours. They just sleep in the mother's belly, in the womb. Eating, sleeping, circulating, excreting, breathing, nothing. They sleep. They are in complete rest state. The body is developing. It needs a certain amount of sleep. And it needs certain amount of food. You notice it does not go for, I need a protein steak. It needs what it needs and it comes through the mother. Yes? And as we get older, we need different amount of sleep. When you come out of the womb, you don't sleep 24 hours. As the baby is growing from, month 1 to month 9, it's wakefulness, meaning body activity is there, but it's sleeping. A baby awake in the womb, maybe Parikshit. That's it. I don't know. Are you listening? Then we come out of the womb. Then we sleep maybe 20 hours a day. I don't know. And slowly, as we get older, it goes to 18 hours and 10 hours and then 8 hours a day. Yes? As our age is changing, as what we have to do, the amount of sleep reduces. So then, just now, I came out of an advanced course. I had 4 notes from people. I can't sleep. Every day I wake up, my eyes just wake up at 3:30 or 4:30, you know. I'm awake at 5 o'clock. Didi, anything I can do for more sleep. So their age, it's not, they're 60 and up. You cannot sleep 8 hours a day like you used to when you were 30. Body does not need that much sleep. As we get older, sleep reduces. So I asked the question, well, when you wake up at 3:30 or 5:30, do you feel fresh and alert? Yes, Didi, but I'm up. I can't go back to sleep. Well, because you don't need more sleep. You have your peak amount that's needed. Maybe it's 5 hours, maybe it's 6 hours, maybe it's 7 hours. Food. How much food? Depends on activity. Depends on how much brain you use. But we have all these ideas. Have you seen children, parents and children? Okay. This is another thing. Didi, my children, I want them to learn to wake up early, you know, and take advantage of the Brahma Muhurat and wake up early. You are 45 years old. You wake up at 5 o'clock if you want to. They're not supposed to wake up at 5 o'clock. I want them to, but Didi, wouldn't it be good? Can you talk to them? No, they'll hate me if I go there to give them that piece of advice. I say, no, you sleep as long as you want to. And then the parents always look at me. So you asked me to speak to them. I gave them my reality. But we want to know, and even food, they have to eat. They haven't eaten. But the baby is saying, I don't want more. It's not that I don't want that food. Sometimes it's that, but the child will spit it out. The milk bottle. Sometimes they take it and you just see, they just take the milk, take the milk bottle. And then when they're done, but the mother has an idea, the bottle should finish. So she keeps putting it in the baby's mouth. No? Food intake slowly increases perhaps, but if you're 65 years old, you cannot eat as much as you used to when you're 30 years old. Your activity has slowed down. Your mental activity, physical activity, all has changed. The amount of sleep has changed. So it is saying samta in how much you eat, how much you sleep, how much you are awake. Activity. Endless activity. You cannot meditate if all these things are out of balance. Forget about meditation. Forget about samadhi. Life becomes challenging when we're out of balance with food and sleep and activity. And the thing we sacrifice the most to stay busy for our transactions in making friends and foe is sleep and food. And we're active, but we don't exercise. Body needs to be exercising also, movement. I'm like the first person around this. I might move, but very little. I know I have to do exercise. But all the time, you know, you're teaching either on screen or in person, but you're sitting. And then the body gets used to that. So the mobility for the body becomes a challenge. So all this has to be in balance. Do you understand? You know this. I'm just saying the obvious, but we don't really stop to think about it. We have these ideas. I have to eat this much. I have to eat that. I have to eat. No, I don't know what's happened now. I can't digest, gulab jamun and these. Well, yeah, you're not supposed to. At 65, you can't digest what you used to have at 35. The other thing is, we are not like one-celled organism. We are a trillion cells organism. Trillions of microbiome and some number of human cells organism. Purush, actually. No, we say Purush. Puri. You're a city. The word for human, I guess, or for man is Purush, Nagri. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It means you're a whole city. All of Manhattan, that's you, me. Maybe it's more than Manhattan. What's another bigger, some city in Brazil somewhere. And each cell has to find peace and balance. Any one thing goes out, look, you overeat, what happens? All the Chetan Shakti is drawn, all of consciousness, Chetana, goes to food. We often say, oh, you feel sleepy after eating because energy is going to digest the food, but we think of it mechanically. Please hear what I just said. Even I'm catching myself as I'm saying it to you, right? You get a little injury, you get a cut. It's not this part that hurts. All of your Chetana, your awareness, is on that cut. Yes? So the rest of it gets ignored. It's there. You undereat, you overeat. Chetan Shakti is not in balance in that entire city. All the cells which are individuated, the microorganism which are individual little beings, alive entities, are not in balance. Everything has gone to that one thing. You oversleep, the fatigue, the mind is needing to be alert and awake, but you've knocked it out into sleep. The wakefulness that's required is out of balance, and all this adds up into something at some point. If you don't sleep enough when you're young, you'll find yourself you need to sleep and rest when you're old. Somehow the universe will make that balance happen. You overeat, you'll find yourself you need to balance out when you're older. You undereat, you balance. It's just like that. You cannot meditate, but even life cannot happen if we don't have samta in these things. This is not philosophy only. Good, huh? This is a good reminder for us. Next verse.
युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः.
It's a continuation. Yoga, which rids one of woe, is accomplished only by him who is regulated in diet and recreation, regulated in performing action, and regulated in sleep and wakefulness. Woe, you want to get over misery in life? What do you have to do? Regulate samta, balance in activity, in fun, in sleep, in food, etc. He's repeating the above sentence, but he's taken it to another level. You want to be out of misery, not just meditate well. Not just meditate well. You want to be free of pain or suffering, misery. You need to balance this. Yes? That which rids you of those things. How can you be rid of woe? This is also Patanjali. You have to balance. Remember the obstacles to samadhi? That's what this is, no? Next verse.
यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा.
When the mind, which is thoroughly disciplined, gets riveted on God alone, then the person who is free from yearning for all enjoyments is said to be established in yoga. See, again, this discipline is used in the same way. Discipline as in do the practices, stick to those things, be disciplined, be committed. And the result is a disciplined mind, meaning one who has done all of that is established in God. Look, when the mind is thoroughly disciplined, meaning doing the practice, abhyasa, towards God alone, you are really committed, focused. This is important to me. This matters to me, just like all the other things in life matter. So then you decide to follow the knowledge, you decide to stick to your practice, you decide to do some seva, you keep again and again bringing yourself back to samabuddhi, not getting caught up in me and mine when not necessary, really doing selfless service. When you're really doing that, in God alone means what? The higher self. Then one is free of craving, yearning for enjoyments, and then he is established in yoga. It's not just the final state if you are, but it's telling me you need to do that. Clear? Dude, we give everything we have to bringing misery in our life. We know it brings misery, but we give everything we have. Health, sleep, food, family, friends. I mean, people, like 3 days back, I had some news from somebody who lost a family member. They're really, really upset. And obviously, I'm just listening, supporting them. And one of the things that occurs to me, I didn't say it in the first call to them, is really your grief is not just at the loss of the person. It's at the loss of you not having done all that you could with and for this person. That's what this verse is saying. Like really giving all that you can, whether it's for God realization or anything in life. You'll notice that you are free when you know you have done all that you can. Then you're free, whatever the result. Correct? I did everything I could. I've done the best I could and what I could. But there are many, many moments when we know we could do more, but we're distracted for other things. Then that woe, that regret comes in. Then the loss is too much to handle. So at some point, after like maybe the fourth or the fifth conversation, I asked the person, I said, can I ask you a question? I know the loss and the grief, I really understand. But is there something else that's troubling you? Well, like what, Didi? I just lost, And I say, well, I don't know. Do you feel like you would have wanted to do more with this? Well, I know I didn't take care of her as much as I could have. The person who passed, I didn't do it. I was so busy, Didi, with this and that and the other thing that I just didn't draw a line. And I know she needed me. See, the grief is not just the loss anymore. It's loss of what you knew you could have done. It's a loss within yourself of not having given all that you could. That regret, that loss is your own. It's not that they are gone. Do you understand this distinction? So in life, this riveting towards one thing, you have to know whether it's love of God or just love, which is God expressing itself in front of you in all the different forms. Have you and are you doing all that you can to support, or are you invested in keeping the psychological self strong and active and right? This is where that basic question comes in life. Would you rather be right or be happy? 99% of our conflict in life is we want to be right, not happy. True or false? Isn't that so for all of us? We want to be right because we think right will make us happy, and it is true. The psychological, the egoic, the small mind is happy. It feels victory, but just for a moment. It feels a sense of victory. Victory makes you think, oh, I'm happy, I'm good. I get respect, I have control. Yes? And in a way, you have to go back to that samta, balance. Not everybody needs to balance or need equanimous bow in the same thing. For some people, it's respect. They are out of balance in terms of praise and respect and what others say of them. They'll do anything, including be miserable, make the family miserable to make sure that they are seen as somebody. Some other people, it's wealth. They don't care respect or not. They don't care, oh, they think you're a thief and a liar. I don't care. I need money. And they will sacrifice that. They are out of balance in terms of wealth. Some out of balance for respect. Some out of balance for happiness. They'll do anything to be happy. They don't want to be sad. They'll do whatever it takes. Borrow, beg, steal, sell this, sell that. They don't care about respect. I just need to be happy. They're different things. We have to ask ourselves, where is it? What are you possessed with where you're out of balance? No? It's not the same for everybody. Did you hear what I'm saying to you? It's very different. There's a different driver for everyone. And for Arjun, the driver is my family, my friends. Right now, that's his imbalance. Samtabhao is missing there. He doesn't, he's not bothered in this moment about that. Where are we out of balance? What is it? I thought these were going to be like fast sutras, but I guess Lord Krishna doesn't say anything that's like willy-nilly. The person who is free from yearning for all enjoyments is said to be established in yoga. In many, many ways, we just keep coming back to samabuddhi, samabhao. No? Equanimous is the word. Balance is a good word. All right, 703. Shall we do one more verse or comments, questions, anything? Are you guys tired? Is it in me? Or are you just pondering? What's happening? Well, it's not stillness, that I can tell you. Pondering, okay. Pondering, no, I'm just soaking it in. Okay, soak it in. You have to reflect. You have to see, wow, yeah, I'm stuck in that. That's where I don't have samabhao, samadrishti, samabuddhi. And it's easy to say me and mine, meaning my family, but what about me and mine? Because even within your family, if respect is the thing and the son is not, or the daughter is not coming with a certain kind of respect, you'll see what you do. So it's not me and mine as much as my respect. That is the driver. Yasha, praise, fame, I suppose. Tired and out of balance. The beautiful thing is, the moment you realize where the balance is not, you've already tilted the balance towards the side of equanimity. That's the beauty. And I think we go out of balance is because we forget the big picture. It's very interesting. When we have a problem, when we're dealing with a challenge, whatever the challenge, okay? It's not just talking sadhana or seva or something, whatever the challenge. Health, wealth, friends, family, relationships, doesn't matter. Something to realize is we do the complete opposite. During a challenge, what gets you out of a challenge is to have a big, wide, expanded vision. But we do the complete opposite. We narrow down in our vision, in our thinking. And so then the problem gets bigger. It holds more, it takes greater hold in our nervous system, which affects reason and clarity and all those things. Chintan starts to happen about the problem, so it becomes aversion. Do you know that sutra is a priceless sutra? You put your attention on, you start to Chintan, contemplate, think about. And as you think about that thing, it becomes either a craving or a aversion, right? And depending on which one is going on, rag establishes or dvesha establishes. And in either way, you lose samabuddhi. You cannot maintain equanimity. Memory gets foggy, intellect gets foggy, which creates more of the same cycle. Kitna sundar hai na? It's amazing, this thing. No? No? Yes? Yes. So beautiful. You know? So remembering this, okay? Forget all the big philosophy, at least this much. When I feel tired, when I feel challenged, when there's something going on in daily life, day-to-day life, whatever it is, it means my mind has become too narrowed, too localized, too focused on something, and I'm not looking at that situation from a wide lens. Let me introduce at least 2 or 3 other possibilities at looking at this situation. Let me not lock my mind into any one thing. Let me see if I can understand the other person's position, not because you want to lose, but just to widen your perspective. I'm not telling the ego not to strengthen itself for right now. I'm just saying for the ego to feel like it's free of the problem, widen the lens. That's a very big takeaway. Whether that had anything to do with the sutras we read or not, this is an important piece. Right? Okay. Any one last question or comment?
Yeah, Didi, I have a tendency to like take on a lot of books, and Amazon also like buy one, second one is free or something like that, and unable to digest it. Like none of them gets done. Like
Are
lot of,
they're books for what, Vishnu?
yeah, like could be technology, could be spirituality, could be business.
All right. Well, the spirituality books, I'm putting a ban on. Over. Okay? No more spiritual books to buy. Anytime you want to buy and you're thinking I'm going to buy, could you just put that money aside and put it to like care for children or something? Or just agree I'm not going to do it. Right? So that's a ban. Second, technology, is this something you're interested in or is required for work?
I see other like senior folks carrying that book, so I also feel okay. Let me also have it.
Padega. How you have a name like Vishnu Bhagat and you're looking at other people? Look at the name, Vishnu Bhagat. Devotee of Lord Vishnu. If you remove Bhagat, then Lord Vishnu. If you remove Vishnu, then it says devotee. You kid, technology has nothing to do. Other people, they're just carrying it around. They're just trying to build a muscle. You get a dumbbell and build a muscle. Just keep doing weights. Buddhi ko mat, many years ago, early on, I would keep asking Guruji questions. But how? But why? If this, then what? That. Like these things. And then one day Guruji said, Tum buddhiman mat bano. Ye tere liye nahi hai. Buddhiman means don't be an intellectual. Would that be a good translation? Yeah. Don't be an intellectual. That is not your journey. I had no idea what he was telling me. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what does that mean, buddhiman? Everybody needs their buddhi. What do you mean? It means logic, rationale, compartmentalizing, intellectualizing, conceptualizing. So, the very first experience I had, okay, little tiny Guru story. Gurudev took me to India. He called from Europe. Why not you come to India with me? Okay, I can get 8 days off. No, you go and see what they can do. I walk in, I see my boss. He accidentally hears what I didn't say, which is, oh, you want to quit. I'm making it see very fast for you. And then he says, walk into my office. Long story short, I get 8 weeks off. I go to India. Okay, the first day he says, you be here, you rest a little, I'll be back. He went to visit Amma. He walked over to, or got driven to, Banu and Amma's home, which is very close, no, walkable, like 7-minute walk or something like that. A little less, maybe even. So, okay, I didn't know what to do. I'm in this big building by myself. There's nothing there. I go downstairs near the front door and I see a desk and I open the drawer and I find a book there, a spiritual book, something the Himalayan Masters. It was a very big book. I forgot the full name of it, something, you know. And so I open it randomly somewhere and I'm reading. And Gurudev is walking back in after some time. You know, he's coming back. What are you doing? So sweet, the way his voice was. And I just flipped the book to show him the book. Something Himalayan. I remember Himalayan Master because he said those words out loud. I said, no need for you to read. Okay? So I put the book back at that moment. I put it down. And then I say, can I come upstairs? Because I know he's going to his meeting room upstairs. Come. Okay, so obviously I don't want to read, so I go upstairs. He's doing whatever. There's boxes of audio tapes. He said, no, from tomorrow you put order to these books. Okay. Many audio tapes from the time when he, you know, who knows what age. So I listen to bits and pieces and I start to categorize them. But then I realize I need something to label them because I'm going to put them in order and organize. So I don't know how to go, where to go, what to do. And he told me to wait because I don't have key to that building. It's open. So I go back downstairs for some fresh air. I'm sitting at the desk. What do I see? The book. What do I do? Randomly open the book and I start reading. At some point, Gurudev comes back in. What are you doing? I flip the book. I'm just reading something, waiting. No. This happened like 3 or 4 times. Then I understood it was not an instruction, right now don't read. That's how I interpreted it. No need to read now, though he never used that word. He just made the sentence, no need to read. It could be for an eternity for all I know, or it could be just in this moment. But I interpreted whatever I could with my limited awareness. It happened 3, 4, 5 times. Then I said, don't read like ever? I said, no need to read books. No, everything will come. Okay. In all honesty, like maybe I'm a little ashamed to say this. I don't know. I read 2 Harry Potter books since 1990 to now. That's it. That is it. And I haven't gotten through even Yoga Vashishta because that's when he directly told me to read 3 times. No, much later, maybe 3, 4 years later. You know, remember that whole thing came out, read Yoga Vashishta, everybody was told to do that. He directly told me. But I can hardly read 3 lines and then you kind of go out. If I try to read like a whole page or 2 pages, my brain is going like that. So I stopped reading that much. I read 3, 4 lines or maybe the point that I need to get out of that paragraph and I close the book. But then I have to go back to the beginning again because it's so thick. So I've not gone through the end. I've read a certain amount and I notice I end up going back. That's it. What he tells you, if you receive and then you contemplate, remember, Advaita Vedanta, what is the technique for it? We've discussed this many times. What is the technique in Advaita Vedanta? The path of knowledge, what is the technique? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. This is the technique. On the path of yoga, you have other techniques. In Karma Yoga, you have another technique. Correct? In Dhyana Yoga, you have another technique. But knowledge of Advaita Vedanta is these 3 things. And since the knowledge does not establish in us just through these 3 things, we have yoga, right? Dhyana and bhakti and so on. So that it purifies the man, buddhi, ahankar, so that the knowledge can establish. Right? So don't get into books. Don't get into rereading your own notes also. You have to, what struck you, something struck you, that at the end of the session, you should just write down that one sentence. Wow, I need to look into where is my imbalance. Is it on money? Is it on fame? Is it on respect? Is it on, whatever? And where is it? That's all you should write down. And then contemplate, look into your own life, and wow, I get stuck there. Contemplate. When that awareness, when you put light on what is unconscious, that unconsciousness starts to disintegrate, or we become aware and in acceptance, then the fatigue goes. I told you the last time, we use our energy against ourselves. In keeping everything unconscious, we use a lot of energy. We don't want to own it. We don't want psychological death or ownership is very difficult. Only the brave, Lord Krishna has already said that, only drada, riveting is the word he used in the very last one. Full zeal. Yes? So, Vishnu?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Hey Prabhu, whatever you want to give me, give me. No, I'm here. I'm doing nothing. If you listen to Rudrashtakam, there's a line in this. I don't know how to do japa, or maybe it's in the Guru Paduka Stotram. I forget exactly where. I don't know japa. I don't know any mantras. I don't know exactly what puja to do. I don't know. What I do know is I hold on to your name and that you move everything. That is the only thing that I know. For you to hold on to Vishnu should be easy. Just easy, Knowing the bow of Vishnu is not just a name, correct? What is Vishnu? What is that? This power that's maintaining this entire cosmos. No, your breath goes, your circulation, that is all Vishnu. My God, wow. No? That like that, and then you're okay. You have everything you need. All right. 7:20. We're good? Oh, there's a question. Go if you need to. I will answer this question. If a relationship ends in a certain way and I feel I could have done better, but other person is not ready to fix it, then it's a loss I cannot do anything about. What to do? Your answer is in the question. It's not something you can do anything about. You cannot make someone want something, particularly love. It's just not possible. There's nothing there. You cannot do anything about that. Let it go. Just go outside, look around, especially like go to a mall or a busy place. Notice how many two-legged people are walking around. Just randomly pick one, because that's kind of how it is in life. Don't make a big deal about this one person. Not now. You got married, you got kids, then you got a lot more to think about. But it's a boyfriend. Move on. Move on. This is where the knowledge has to be applied. It doesn't work if you apply it when it's all happy. You have to then say, okay, what? I don't exist, they don't exist. What is this? Just a bundle of thought attaching onto another bundle of thought and making a big drama. Nobody's cat is dying and the sky is not falling. I cannot afford to sob over this thing. I'm going to move on. God is with me. I am going to move on. You have to at least give this to yourself. Otherwise, if you go on chintan, thinking about how to bring them back, I could have done these, and what could they do to bring them back, craving develops more. Walk down the road of what we've been discussing. I could have, I should have, what could I do? I'll try to do these. That idea, that thinking becomes a deeper craving. And then you think that you love them more. Meanwhile, it's just become a deeper craving, deeper fire. It's not love anymore. Are we clear? I know that doesn't sound very romantic, but no, it's not worth it if it's killing you. It's not killing you, the small self. That's getting stronger. It's killing you, the life. That gets weakened. And if you really want him to learn, be happy, then he's going to say, oh, dude, I missed something. Just be happy, vibrant, move on, find another two-legged one if that's what you think is important. There's so many walking around out there. Why we get obsessed over this two-legged person versus that two-legged, I don't know. Even monkeys sometimes stand on two legs. What are you doing? Really, very, very important to apply this. What's the point otherwise? Keep listening, and then what? Okay? Do a little extra sadhana, do a little fasting, do a little more pranayam, do the very thing you love to do, second stage and third stage. Do that a lot. Gurudev's given freedom because you all love it so much. He says you can do it 2 or 3 times a day if you want. So do 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the late afternoon, and 10 just before bed. Do it. Instead of, what can I do to get that person back? Do this to get yourself back. Lightheartedness, okay? Make fun of yourself like I'm just making fun of all of us, including myself. Meaning, don't take everything so seriously. Second stage, first stage. Oh, the guy left. I could have done more. What you could have done more? God is in charge, not you. We're not in charge. Birth, death, marriage, children. This is for sure. Hidden secrets. You can't do anything about it. Freedom. Really, if you really understand that, not as something to repeat on your next course or to your husband when you go home or something, but, okay. Tata. Jai Gurudev. Bye.